When a former Browns quarterback like Johnny Manziel goes off on his old team, you know something's boiling over in Cleveland. And this time, it's not just another rant. It's a full-on warning. Manziel has officially had enough of what he calls a brutal mess, and he's not holding back. In a fiery moment that's gone viral, Johnny made it clear. It's time to bench Dillon Gabriel and start Shedeur Sanders. Now. No more waiting, no more excuses. Manziel's message hit harder than anyone expected. He accused the Browns of wasting talent, losing their spark, and dragging the same old mistakes week after week. Bring yourself a spark, he said. And in Cleveland, that spark has a name: Shedeur Sanders. But this isn't just one ex-player venting online. Manziel's comments come at a moment when insiders, players, and even fans are all saying the same thing. The locker room is done being patient. With frustration mounting from top to bottom, the spotlight is squarely on Kevin Stefanski, whose loyalty to Gabriel is starting to look more like stubbornness than strategy. If Manziel's words sound bold, it's because he's been in those shoes before. He knows what it feels like to watch a franchise self-destruct from the inside. But this time, he's not watching quietly. He's demanding a change that could reshape the Browns' season, or end it for good. Cleveland's breaking point didn't come out of nowhere. It's been building all season. The fans saw it first: blown leads, sloppy play calling, zero rhythm on offense. Every week it felt like the Browns were running in circles, hoping for a miracle that never came. And now, with frustration spilling out from the locker room, insiders say this team is teetering on the edge. Even players who usually keep things quiet are starting to show cracks. Myles Garrett, the heart of this defense, just put on one of the best performances of his career. 5 sacks, game-changing plays, pure dominance. But when the final whistle blew, his expression said it all. You could see it, that mix of anger and exhaustion. He's giving everything, but the offense keeps throwing it away. It's like he's fighting 2 battles, one on the field and one against his own team's dysfunction. Meanwhile, the offense looks completely lost under Dillon Gabriel. The short passes, the hesitation, the missed deep throws, it's the same pattern every single week. The wide receivers are frustrated, the chemistry's gone, and the locker room, according to multiple reports, is starting to lose faith in both the quarterback and the coaching staff. Even analysts like Cam Newton and Ocho are calling it out. They're warning that Kevin Stefanski is one bad game away from losing control of his team entirely. Newton even said it straight. Sooner or later, he's gonna have to realize what's happening inside that locker room. And when a guy like Cam says that, you listen. The Browns are stuck in a storm of bad decisions, and Johnny Manziel's outburst might have just been the spark that lights the fuse. Because at this point, it's not just about fixing an offense, it's about saving the entire team before the locker room collapses completely. Johnny Manziel didn't just comment on the Browns, he detonated a bomb. The former first-round quarterback, once the face of Cleveland's future, finally said what millions of fans have been thinking: enough is enough. His frustration wasn't quiet or subtle, it was raw, emotional, and personal. The kind of rant that instantly takes over social media. He called out Kevin Stefanski by name, questioning his leadership and demanding action. "Start Shedeur now," Manziel said flatly. "Stop it. Enough." You could feel the anger in his voice, not from bitterness, but from a place of disbelief. Manziel's message was simple. Cleveland needs a spark, and Shedeur Sanders is that spark. What makes Manziel's outburst so powerful is that he's lived this chaos. He's seen how the Browns organization can crush talent under poor leadership and endless mismanagement. He knows what it's like to be stuck in a system that refuses to adapt. And this time, he's using that experience to speak up for a player he believes can change everything. In his words, Shedeur isn't just another young quarterback. He's ready. He praised Shedeur's poise, maturity, and now, and mental toughness, calling him the kind of leader Cleveland's been missing for years. And coming from Johnny, a player who's faced his share of storms, that praise hits differently. But it wasn't just about Shedeur's readiness. Manziel went after Dillon Gabriel's performance too, saying what fans have been screaming from the stands. He's had 8 weeks. It's not working. He accused the Browns of clinging to a plan that everyone knows has failed. To him, it's not about waiting for Gabriel to develop. It's about saving the season before it's too late. And here's the thing. When Manziel speaks, people listen. He may not have finished his career in Cleveland the way he hoped, but his voice still carries weight with fans who know he's seen this dysfunction up close. His call to let Shedeur rip wasn't just commentary. It was a warning, a loud one, that if the Browns don't act soon, they might lose more than just games. They might lose the entire locker room. When Johnny Manziel spoke, it felt like a spark. But when Ocho and Cam Newton joined the conversation, it turned into a firestorm. Suddenly, it wasn't just one former player calling out the Browns. It was a wave of respected voices saying the same thing. This team has lost its direction, and if Kevin Stefanski doesn't fix it soon, he's going to lose everything. The locker room, the fans, and maybe even his job. Ocho, never one to sugarcoat anything, came out swinging. He said it straight. Stefanski's not even giving his team a chance. His frustration was clear. To him, the biggest issue isn't just the poor play calling or the losing streak. It's the fact that he's sitting on the bench. Ocho pointed out the obvious. Gabriel can't throw it deep. He can't stretch the field. He can't throw outside the numbers. That statement hit like a hammer because it's exactly what fans have been shouting all season. And when your own receivers, guys like Njoku, Judy, and Tillman, start showing visible frustration on the sidelines, that's when you know something's broken. Then came Cam Newton. Calm, but confident. He gave the kind of take that makes even insiders pay attention. Cam said it wasn't a matter of if the Browns would make a change, but when. His exact words, sooner or later, Stefanski's gonna have to realize what's happening in that locker room. Cam's prediction wasn't about stats. It was about human nature. He knows how fast the locker room can turn when players stop believing in the man calling the shots. What made Cam's comments so powerful was that he didn't frame it as a choice. He framed it as inevitability. Sooner or later, Cleveland will have to give Shedeur Sanders his shot. Not just because the fans want it, but because the team needs it to survive. And at this point, with frustration boiling over and patience running out, it feels like everyone, players, analysts, and even ex-quarterbacks, are all saying the same thing. Shedeur's time is now. If you want to understand how bad things have gotten in Cleveland, you don't have to look at the scoreboard. Just look inside the locker room. What used to be a tight, confident group now feels fractured. Players aren't just frustrated, they're flat out tired. Tired of the same excuses, the same conservative calls, and the same losing results week after week. Behind closed doors, sources say the tension is building between the offense and defense, and it's not hard to see why. The defense, led by Myles Garrett, is giving everything they've got. They're keeping games close, forcing turnovers, and doing their job. But every time they come off the field, they watch the offense waste opportunities with short, safe throws and predictable plays. It's demoralizing. You can't fight for 60 minutes if you don't believe the other side of the ball can finish the job. Multiple insiders have described the locker room as on edge. Some players reportedly avoid even talking about the quarterback situation, while others have stopped hiding their frustration. When a leader like Garrett, someone who's usually calm, composed, and professional, starts showing visible irritation, it says everything. He's out there recording sacks, saving, and still walking back to the sidelines watching the offense implode. And the real problem? It all circles back to Kevin Stefanski. His stubbornness has turned the Browns' offense into a system nobody trusts. His refusal to make changes, even when it's painfully obvious what's not working, has created a rift between him and his players. People inside the organization have started whispering that Stefanski is coaching scared. Instead of trusting talent, he's clinging to his own playbook, even when it's burning down around him. It's not just a football issue anymore. It's personal. The players want accountability, the fans want a direction, and the locker room wants someone to believe in again. And that's why the name Shedeur Sanders keeps coming up. Because right now, Cleveland doesn't just need a quarterback, they need a lifeline. Every once in a while, a young quarterback comes along who doesn't just play the game, he changes the energy of an entire organization. For the Cleveland Browns, that spark could be Shedeur Sanders. Inside league circles, people are already whispering that Shedeur isn't just talented, he's different. The kind of player who carries himself like he belongs, even before he's handed the keys. His preparation, his leadership, his calm under pressure, that's what has former pros like Johnny Manziel and Cam Newton demanding his shot. They're seeing what fans are seeing, a natural leader sitting on the bench while chaos unfolds on the field. And that's what makes this situation so wild. The Browns don't have a quarterback problem, they have a decision-making problem. Everyone can see Shedeur's readiness. Reports from practices say he's sharp, composed, and making throws that Gabriel simply can't. Even defensive players are starting to take notice, quietly telling reporters that Shedeur looks like the real deal. But instead of leaning into that momentum, Kevin Stefanski has doubled down on the same failing formula. Week after week, his offense sputters, and week after week, Shedeur watches from the sidelines, patient but ready. To the fans, it feels less like strategy and more like stubbornness. And that's why this Shedeur factor is bigger than football. It's about hope, the one thing Cleveland fans haven't had in a long time. They've watched this story before, wasted potential, missed opportunities, and seasons slipping away. But this time feels different. There's a sense that if Shedeur finally gets his moment, it could flip everything, not just for the team, but for the city. Johnny Manziel called it weeks ago. Ocho and Cam are echoing it now. Everyone's saying the same thing. Start him. Let him rip. Because if the Browns keep ignoring what's right in front of them, this could go from a losing streak to a full-blown collapse. The question isn't whether Shedeur's ready. It's whether the Browns have the guts to let him prove it. Behind the closed doors of Berea, things are getting tense. Really tense. What started as quiet frustration has turned into full-on confrontation. Players, coaches, even front office members. Everyone seems to be walking on eggshells. Insiders describe the atmosphere as uneasy, divided, and ready to explode. And at the center of it all, the quarterback controversy that refuses to die. When Johnny Manziel, Ocho, and Cam Newton spoke out, it wasn't just talk. It sent shockwaves straight into the Browns facility. The coaching staff reportedly didn't take kindly to being called out on national platforms. But here's the thing. Those voices aren't random outsiders. They're respected former players, people who've lived the pressure, made the throws, and know when a team's energy is off. Their words carry weight. Inside Berea, the cracks are widening. Several veterans are said to be losing faith in Kevin Stefanski's leadership. Some believe he's coaching scared, too afraid to make the bold call that could save the season. Others say it's ego, a refusal to admit that his plan isn't working. Either way, the frustration is real. Players are reportedly showing it in subtle ways. Short answers to the media, cold shoulders in practice, and quiet tension that lingers after every loss. But the front office is watching too. And according to reports, they're starting to question whether Stefanski is still the right man to lead this locker room. Ownership is desperate for results. The fan base is growing restless, and that pressure is starting to push everyone toward one inevitable conclusion. It's time for change. What's most telling, though, is how Shedeur Sanders is handling it all. Despite the noise, the rumors, and the internal chaos, he's staying calm, composed, and locked in. Every report coming out of practice says the same thing. He looks ready, focused, hungry. It's like he knows his time is coming. He's just waiting for the door to finally open. And when it does, Cleveland might never be the same again. Every story has a breaking point, and for Kevin Stefanski, this might be his. What's happening in Cleveland isn't just another losing streak. It's a test of leadership, pride, and survival. After weeks of criticism, internal tension, and a fan base running out of patience, Stefanski is standing on the edge of a cliff. And everyone knows it. Reports coming out of Berea suggest that the upcoming stretch of games could decide his fate. Sources say ownership is watching closely, evaluating every call, every decision, every drive. The message behind closed doors is clear. Either the Browns turn this around now, or the front office won't hesitate to make drastic changes. But here's where it gets interesting. Stefanski still has one card left to play. One move that could flip the entire narrative and win back the locker room. That move is starting Shedeur Sanders. If he finally lets Shedeur take the field, it could change everything. The team needs a spark, the fans need hope, and Stefanski needs redemption. Giving Shedeur that shot wouldn't just be a football decision, it would be a statement. It would show that he's willing to adapt, to listen, and to fight for his job, instead of hiding behind excuses. But if he doesn't, if he keeps clinging to Dillon Gabriel and the same broken system, the fallout could be catastrophic. The players have already begun tuning out. The media's already sharpening their knives. And the front office won't tolerate another wasted season built on ego and hesitation. For Stefanski, this isn't about pride anymore, it's about legacy. The difference between being remembered as the coach who saved Cleveland's season or the one who buried it. And for Shedeur Sanders, this moment could be destiny calling, a chance to step into the chaos, silence the critics, and become the face of the Browns' rebirth. Because one thing's for sure, it's about belief. It's about what happens when a team, a city, and a fan base are pushed so far into frustration that they stop hoping and start demanding change. For months, the Browns have been searching for an identity, stumbling through bad calls, awkward pressers, and painful Sundays that left fans asking the same question over and over. When will enough be enough? Well, now they have their answer. The locker room's divided, the trust is fading, and the patience is gone. But out of all that chaos, one name keeps rising from the noise: Shedeur Sanders. He's not just another quarterback waiting for a chance. He's a symbol of what this team could be if they just had the courage to move forward. He's the reminder that sometimes all it takes is one bold decision to change everything. The fans see it, the players feel it. ... And the league? They're watching closely, waiting to see if Cleveland finally dares to take the leap. Because this moment, right here, right now, could define not just the Browns' season, but their future. If Kevin Stefanski steps up and lets Shedeur lead, he could rewrite his story overnight. But if he stays stubborn, if he keeps playing it safe, then he'll be remembered as the man who had the spark to save Cleveland and let it die out. And for Shedeur, this is personal. This is the moment that separates potential from legacy. He's ready, he's waiting, and he's got an entire city behind him. A city that's tired of excuses and starving for redemption. So the question isn't if change is coming anymore, it's when. And when that first snap finally hits the turf and the crowd roars like it hasn't in years, everyone will remember the night Cleveland believed again. If you're still watching, drop your thoughts below. Should Shedeur finally start? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time as we dive into the next big shakeup nobody saw coming.